This video's idea actually came from this comment. So we have all just been completely overthinking it throughout the past few decades. The answer is actually just right in front of us. To put it simply, Drive 12, I know I'm kind of like exaggerating it a little bit, but Drive 12 didn't exist at that time. So obviously the predecessor to 359's West Loop hadn't been introduced yet. But the predecessor to 358's West Loop was already there. And we could also rule out Pasir Ris Street 72. There is no evidence of bus stops anywhere along this road. Like basically any remnants of old bus stops. Whereas NR15, yes, it passed by Drive 10, but SGWiki didn't say that NR15 actually calls at Drive 10. Okay, then there was this route, which is now service tree. It was basically like this, right? And then it would loop in an anti-clockwise manner. Okay, back then the road configuration was like that. So minus this, when you take a look at the road network back then, it would make sense for a bus service to loop here as well in the anti-clockwise direction, because it's a Y junction between Street 71 and Drive 1. Because once you rule out Drive 12 and Street 72, this was literally the only possible route that the old 353 would have taken before it got converted into looping at Elias Road. I could even use another example to illustrate this. So back then there was only 242. There wasn't 241. And when I mean 241, I do not mean Jurong Interchange to Taban Garden Loop. I mean like the present generation of service 241. So in the past, 242 was like this. I mean, back then it wasn't Central 1. It was like this, Street 72, and like this. So this was the old 242. Then over time, service 241 got introduced. So 241 Pioneer, right? And then like this. So to avoid duplication, basically 242 was being cut short to loop at Street 71 instead. The introduction of 241 is the reason why 242 got cut short. Okay, sorry about that. I have to be precise. The old interchange was actually at here. Yep, that's more like it. So obviously when 242 it got shifted to the Sawtooth berth site, it used Jurong West Central 1 both bounds. So if we apply whatever we've learned from that example, it is actually pretty simple. You have a 353 that looped like this. And back then, before Drive 12 was a thing, you didn't really need two services. But when Drive 12 became a thing, obviously, this thing, 355 was introduced. Okay, I'm just gonna use, let's say, orange. Keeping in mind the 241, 242 example, this thing now loops clockwise. So it's a bit redundant to have um, this thing looping at the exact same place, right? You gotta think of like where isn't really served. So 353, which is 358's West Loop, no longer called the bus stop here. So it got converted into a, and obviously this bus stop got skipped as well. Then it got converted into a anti-clockwise loop along Drive 1 and Elias Road. So from a network point of view, it makes sense, right? You have 359 covering this area and you have 358 covering this area. Kind of like the same example as 241 and 242. I mean, ignore this part, just focus on this part. You have 241 here, and then you have 242 here. So discounting the fact that NR15 used supply this road, whether it called or didn't call, the reason why there was even a bus stop at Pasir Ris Drive 1, sorry, at Pasir Ris Drive 10 along the opposite side of 358's current looping point, it's all because of this and the fact that you need to give a new purpose to service 353.